guys, welcome to the Daily Tailors. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Sean.
And today we're going to tell you about our top 10 travel tips.
Here's what this is really going to help you with. If you guys are taking a trip and it includes airfare and hotel, then this is going to be for you. If your trip only includes hotel, some of these tips will apply, but some of them won't. Right. So we're here to help you. So if you're just doing a hotel trip, then maybe skim the video. But if you're doing a trip with just airfare, let us know how those park benches feel, because usually it's a good idea to sleep somewhere when you travel. So, number 10 on our list, last but not least, is getting upgrades. So, you might hear of those legendary business travelers that are always upgraded to the penthouse. Well, how do you get your piece of the penthouse? And if you don't have status in a program, that doesn't mean you can't get an upgrade. Right. The number one thing is just ask, and ask nicely. Keep in mind these people work hard. They deal with a lot of people who are honestly quite rude. So put on your people skills, smile, be nice, ask how their day is, and then at the end, ask, can I get an upgrade? Because if they say no, you're in no worse position than you were before. So can you think of an example of when that worked for us?
Yeah, we actually went to Chicago quite a few years ago, and it was my first time. Sean had been before. But we got to our hotel, which was the Wyndham Grand, right on the Magnificent Mile.
Mm-hmm. Overlooking a river, too.
Right, and so we got our, we're at the registration counter, and basically we just asked them, I said, hey, this is my first time coming to and experience Chicago, and do you have any upgrades available? And sure enough, they said, well, because this is your first time experiencing Chicago, we'll give you an upgrade. And we got basically a hotel room bigger than any of the apartments that we've ever lived in.
Yep.
So
we got a junior suite larger than our current or past apartments for under $100 a night.
Yeah.
So, especially if you're traveling in off season, remember to ask. It's important.
Mm-hmm. So tip number 9 is a medicine wheel.
Maraca!
Which it doesn't have to be a wheel, but this is just something that I found at a local craft store. And basically it just kind of has the essentials. It has Tylenol, we have some energy supplements, Tums if you get an upset stomach, vitamin D, especially if you're going to be in the colder areas, just to keep your, And then anything else you think you might need. This just comes in super handy and also helps out other people too, just in case they need it.
And what's really nice is it's compact and it's definitely easy to access. You could even put your own labels in it. Yeah. If you get motion sick, Dramamine might be a good idea. Right. And you can change it out trip to trip. Mm-hmm. It's relatively airtight, so you can keep a few things in there. I wouldn't put a month's supply of anything in there. But once you pack it, it's going to be good for a few trips unless you take years between trips.
Yeah, and I can say honestly, this is something that I keep in my purse every single day. So. Yep.
Which makes it really easy when we travel because it's ready.
Yep.
So number 8 on our list is something we actually found recently and only started using last trip to Orlando, basically. It's Amazon Now. So apparently Amazon has a service that in the major cities, Orlando, Cincinnati, El Paso, large cities like that, Boston, they actually allow for delivery within an hour or two of your order. This is incredible when you've forgotten to pack something or you need something specific. You could also use
Amazon, just the normal Amazon Prime, and order in advance. So if you think of something like, hey, I don't really want to travel with hairspray as a woman, then you can just automatically just send it to your hotel before you go there, and they'll accept that package for you.
Yep. And this is really helpful, especially if it's something disposable, usable, or just generally takes up too much space to want to bring with you. Anything you don't want to pack that you still want, don't forget, you can ship to your hotel. They will accept packages for you. Make sure your name's on it, and be aware that some resorts will charge you a small handling fee. Yeah. So if you're staying at a big company resort, maybe a big entertainment company based in Florida who involves mice, I don't know if we can say their name or not, but for example, those resorts will probably charge you a handling fee for accepting the package. Mm-hmm. It still usually makes sense, especially we got some refrigerated sausages, and they came ice packed, and we used a grill, and it was awesome. Yeah.
Number 7 on our list is to minimize your electronics.
Wait, what? Oh.
That means basically to make sure that you're actually going to use the electronics that you travel with. So think about your trip. Are you really going to use your laptop? Do you need that? Or could you bring something more like a Kindle, an iPad mini, or something like that that would just do the trick?
Yep. First off, think weight and size. You want to minimize. But more importantly, think about how sensitive this thing is to weight, to water, or being damaged. We don't tend to bring laptops with us anymore.
No.
Because our phones have plenty of storage, our iPads have plenty of storage, they're lighter, they're in life-proof cases, so they're less likely to be broken. So what do you really need with you? Do you really need to bring your television?
Probably not. And honestly, we brought our laptop with us on our last trip, and we didn't use it.
Didn't even open it.
So that definitely makes us think for next trip, how much do we really need this?
Yep. You're going to travel, and you're going to go see things. So it's good to have a phone and some electronics with you, but don't go overboard, because it's a lot harder to travel that way. All right, guys. So we're on number 6 now. We're almost halfway there, so hold on. We're getting there. Stick with us. This tip actually comes to you courtesy of our friend Jen. She actually just gave this tip to us, and we thought it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So when you travel, one of the biggest things is it's A, expensive, and B, hard to find drinks when you're thirsty.
Right.
And you can't bring them through TSA because they're liquids and they're more than 3 ounces, or you're bringing a shot with you.
Yeah.
So she actually gave us this idea of bringing a Brita filtered water bottle.
Like this.
So the beauty here is you can empty it out before you go through TSA, and then you can fill it up.
Right.
Now, it's not going to filter out everything, but the big things it'll get rid of are chlorine taste and particles that are harmful to you. We didn't think this was necessary, but think of Flint, Michigan.
Right.
These things happen. So it may not be as bad as water down in Mexico that'll get you sick, but at least it'll taste good, and you can use it pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
Helps a lot with hotel water, too.
Yeah.
Because nobody likes chlorine.
It came in handy in Florida, for sure, because their water is a little bit more chlorinated.
Yep.
And, yeah, it was good, handy, and especially in the parks, too. If you're going to a theme park or something like that, you just want to use bubbler water, then you can just fill it up and not have to really worry about it.
For you non-New Englanders, bubbler means water fountain.
Yeah. Hey guys, we're at tip number 5, and we're halfway through our list. Tip number 5 is to wear your heaviest clothing item, whether that be your really heavy jeans or any pair of jeans really, because they're pretty heavy. Your heaviest boots, whether that be snow boots, your sneakers. If you're going somewhere tropical, obviously your sneakers might be your heaviest item, and it's just to wear those to not have that much weight and space in your luggage.
Yeah, you guys would be surprised how much denim actually weighs. So a pair of jeans, it can take 2 pounds off of your weight limit in some cases.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You only have 50 pounds. Another sub trick here, if you've gone swimming or something while you're on vacation, on the way back, even if you've wrung your clothes out, you really need to first off, wring them off really well, but you probably need a plastic bag to put them in, and they should go in your carry-on.
Right.
Because wet clothes can take 4 or 5 pounds off that limit, and that adds up, especially if you've picked up souvenirs or something.
Right.
So we're on tip number 4, right? 4?
Yeah, 4.
I'm an engineer, but I can't count backwards. Fatal flaw. Now we're going to talk to you guys about our packing cubes. And you'll actually see a video later where we review these in detail. But for now, we're just going to talk about the fact that packing cubes of any sort are critical to packing. That's why packing's in their name.
Tidbit. Brittany, I convinced Sean of getting packing cubes. He was very anti-packing cubes.
I was. She convinced me. And that was not easy.
No.
So, this is actually an LL Bean packing cube.
You could get any brand. Honestly, LL Bean's just kind of our favorite because of their warranty policy, and they just make a good quality thing that's going to last a lifetime.
Yep.
So the cool part about this guy is that it has 2 sides.
Yep.
So it has a zipper like this side, which is mesh, so you put your clean clothes in there, and when you put it in your luggage, and then the back side is enclosed by the fabric, so that if your dirty clothes are in here, then it'll stay. What is the word?
Dirty and clean because stay delineated.
Right.
So you don't get like the smelly clothes mixing with the clean clothes. And this is really helpful if you have multiple trips, because if you're going to stop somewhere and then go somewhere else, when you repack them, all your clothes aren't mingled together.
Yeah, and we have designated colors. Mine is blue. Apparently Sean's using blue for his trip, and Sean has red. So.
Yep. And these are really nice when you're unpacking, because before, when you unpack, you'd have to take your clothes out of the luggage, sort them a little. Now, this is how I unpack. Pretend Brittaney was a dresser. You might unzip it, you might not. If you really don't like keeping the stuff in the cubes, if you pack them right, you can actually flip them while they're open and then pull them off, and all your clothing's been unpacked.
Yeah.
So, huge bonus when you're unpacking, and you want to do it in literally, 30 seconds?
Yeah. So number 3 on our list is your personal item selection for what you're going to be your personal item on the flight.
Keep in mind the TSA only allows 1 carry-on and 1 personal item per person. Has to fit under the seat in front of you.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. Personal item like laptop bag, purse, backpack.
So just as far as we bring a backpack instead of kind of like an over-the-shoulder kind of bag, just because it kind of evens out the weight on your back and obviously is more ergonomic for your back and your wellness. So we actually got this backpack, which is from LL Bean. There's
you might be seeing a trend here.
We just love the brand, and that they stand by their products.
And we'll have to do a video on tricks on getting those cheaper too.
Yeah. So they actually make this really nice, sturdy backpack with tons of compartments, which makes it easy to organize yourselves, and it has a nice, really laptop pocket, this is actually what Sean uses for work on a day-to-day basis. And as well as your really sturdy backpack, you have to make sure that your purse, as a woman, can fit in it. I think that's pretty important, because
otherwise it counts as your personal item.
Right. So just making sure that your purse can fit in there, which I always have a crossbody handbag, and that always fits in there. And then the second thing, as far as personal item selection, which is kind of my favorite, is this little stowaway backpack. So this little package has a backpack in it. So I'll show you what it looks like.
Now this is really important, because if you notice, we don't keep the collapsible bag open most of the time on the trip there.
Yeah.
It's usually on the trip back after we've gotten souvenirs, or we haven't folded our clothing and it takes up more space, that we'll break this out, and now we'll have our 2 personal items.
Right.
But on the way there, we only have to carry 1.
So it looks kind of like this. It's super duper lightweight, 2 handles, lots of pockets, waterproof. This is great, especially if you're going to go hiking, or you need a pool bag or a beach bag. It just makes travel a bit easier, and it's super nice that it, collapses right into your luggage or your bag.
It's so flexible. It gives you so many options when you're traveling. Once you travel with this once, and a sturdy backpack that your purse can fit in, you literally won't go back.
Right.
It's just so nice.
Yeah, we borrowed the stowaway backpack from my twin sister, and then after that we decided that we just needed to buy one to use for all our future trips.
Hey guys, we're going to talk to you about tip number 2 now. The second most important item on our list, and this one's highly airline specific. So this is about how much you want to pack.
Right.
I think we both know that you don't always pack what you mean to.
Right.
So this is an ideal world. This is what you should aim for.
Yeah.
But obviously, everybody understands packing's hard.
Yeah, we're going to place these into 3 categories. A standard airline, something like United, Delta, American Airlines, Southwest, which is, kind of its own entity, and then a discount airline, whether that be Spirit, JetBlue, Frontier, something like that.
These tips are mostly for domestic travel, but it might apply for international.
Right.
Use your noggin. So here's what we think. For a standard airline, you have 2 dynamics. The first is you can carry something on for free, and if you check something, it costs money.
Right.
This one's a no-brainer for us. When you check a bag, it always takes more time, and in this case, more money.
Right.
So I don't like giving up money or time.
Yeah.
So when you can, on a standard airline, travel with only a carry-on.
Right.
It might limit some of the liquids you bring, but remember our tip about Amazon. If you can't bring hairspray because it can't go in your luggage, order it ahead of time.
Yeah.
It won't be that much more expensive.
As far as Southwest, that would be the next category, which would be, we would recommend just do whatever you feel is right, because you know, you get your free carry-on, you get your free 2 checked bags, so just kind of do what fits you and your travel partners right. I mean, it doesn't really matter in that case because it's free.
But do remember, anytime you check a bag, you should assume that it's going to take at least 20 minutes.
Right.
And it can take up to an hour, hour and a half if something goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have very time-sensitive plans, try to bring a carry-on.
Yeah.
General rule of thumb.
For number 3, which would be like the ultimate discount airlines, that one, what would you recommend?
Well, it's a little hard here. So first off, generally the carry-on price is more expensive than the checked price.
Right.
So you're paying more to bring less, and the only advantage to a carry-on here is you're not waiting at the baggage claim.
Right.
Now that being said, we've flown a discount airline a few times now, and we like it. It's cheap.
Right.
But timing can be an issue.
Yeah, sometimes it could take upwards of like 45 minutes, I think, especially if you like land really late.
Yep.
I mean, that's what you get for paying such a low price, but it is kind of annoying.
You're basically paying a no rush price.
Basically.
So keep that in mind. If you have sensitive time constraints, you might want to consider a carry-on, but cost is kind of prohibitive here.
Yeah, but otherwise, I guess you would just choose to check the bag because it's usually cheaper.
Yep.
Because they have more checked bag space versus carry-on space.
Yep. And if you're flying a discount airline, you're probably aiming for the lowest price for that trip.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad. Whatever you're picking, pick what works for you. But that's kind of our breakdown of the 3 major types of flights you might run into.
Yeah. So we're finally at number 1 in our packing.
The top number
Of our packing tips, and that is TSA PreCheck or global entry.
Absolutely critical. Now, you guys might be like, yeah, I've heard about it. TSA keeps saying we should do it. But seriously, this is the difference between getting through security lines in minutes or hours sometimes. If the airport's not busy, not a big difference. But if you go somewhere and you're almost late for your flight, this will literally be the difference between you missing it or not.
Right.
The first thing that I think is really nice here is what you don't have to take off through security. You can keep your shoes on, you can keep your belts on, light outerwear. Those are all great to be able to keep on.
You can keep your laptops in your backpack.
Yep.
Right?
And that's the big thing. Laptops and your 311 compliant liquid bag can stay in your bags.
Mm-hmm.
This means that now bringing a carry-on is a lot easier. You don't have to tear everything apart when you go through security.
Mm-hmm.
And per our point of number 2, usually you want a carry-on because that's less time you're wasting in your destination airport.
Right.
Also, I think every time we've booked where I've been the primary person on the reservation, PreCheck gets extended to my wife.
Yeah.
She has an appointment to get her own.
Mm-hmm.
We want her to be in the system.
Yeah.
But it's helped us both get through security so much faster.
Yeah.
And global entry, if you're going to apply for TSA PreCheck, just do the global entry. It's an extra $15. It's good for several years, and it gets you through customs so much quicker going back into the U.S.
Yeah, recently I had to go pick up Sean from the airport, and his coworker was traveling with him, so I was just going to pick them both up, and we had to wait quite an extra while because his coworker did not have global entry, and Sean did. So
I got through in about 15 seconds through customs. Still had to wait for my bag.
Right.
But my coworker did not get through in 15 seconds.
Right. So guys, that was our top 10 tips for traveling.
I hope you enjoyed it. We definitely hope that this helps you guys get to traveling a little more. We know some people don't travel a lot. We encourage it. But
if it is your thing, definitely explore and experience. There's so much to see, and unfortunately we only have so much time to be able to live our lives. So.
And some of our best mentors in life have told us, spend money on memories, not things.
Right.
Because the memories stay with you, the things don't.
Right.
But we really hope this has helped you. We would love to see what you think. Add some comments below. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Tell us some of your tips.
Yeah, we'd definitely be interested to see what your tips are for sure. And don't forget to comment and subscribe. See you guys soon.
See ya.